So this is a short video about the Beijing Subway and landing in Beijing Airport. You get off the plane and pretty much just go right to immigration. Then you get on a tram and it takes you to Terminal 3 where you get off, and immediately it takes you to baggage claim and you go get your bags. And by that time, they're obviously there because you've spent forever in immigration. So you get your bags and you walk out and you find yourself in the gigantic Terminal 3. Now, if you keep walking out of the inside part of Terminal 3, it takes you to like an outside area, which is the platform for the airport shuttle. When you get on this platform, you'll see a booth where you can buy your pass. It's really cheap. It's only 25 yuan, which is about $4. And this is where your subway journey in Beijing actually would begin. Now, the shuttle goes to 4 stops. It will go to Terminal 2, then it goes to Sanyuan Chao Station, and then Dongzhimen Station, which is the last stop. Dongzhimen Station is on line 2, which is probably like the heart of Beijing Subway, which also connects with just about every other subway line in the Beijing subway system. And there's so many subway stations, you can pretty much walk to any hotel, motel, hostel destination that you want to get to from a subway station. Now, going from the Airport Express into the subway system, you need to go through a checkpoint. And there's checkpoints at every single entrance to a subway. You have your, whatever bags you have are scanned. You go through a metal detector, and sometimes there's people there whisking you. So you go through that, and the next thing you want to do is get a subway card. Now, you don't have to get a subway card, but I think it's the most convenient way to travel on the subway in Beijing, because otherwise you need to get in a line, and then you need to go to a machine, and you need to program where you're going to go, pay the fare. If you have a card, then you just put a bunch of yuan on it. You just use it till it runs low, and then you load it back up again. It's really easy. When you buy it, it's a minimum of 40 yuan. 20 is for a deposit, and then 20 goes towards your first trips. And most trips are about 3 yuan, which is like 50 cents. The deposit means if you don't have enough on your card for like a trip, then it kicks into the deposit. But you can only do that once, because if you do it twice, your card gets invalid, and that happened to me, and I'm going to cover that in another video. So you're in the subway system now, and there's signs everywhere. There's like arrows on the ground with the line number. Everywhere you look, there's things to help you get where you need to go. Everything is marked in English and Chinese. When you get on the platform, it's clearly marked where the doors stop, and there's an arrow for people coming out, and then the arrows where you stand to go in. Don't be surprised if people just cut right in front of you, like you're waiting there, and then the subway comes, and then a whole bunch of people going right before you. It actually, you're still going to get on the subway, and truthfully, it gets you on the subway closer to the door, which is where you're going to want to be anyway, which I'll describe in a minute. And it's not really so much impolite, it's just how they do things there. There's so many people, and things have to always keep moving. Don't be surprised if people just cut in front of you all the time. That's just how it is there. The subway shows up, and usually like around rush hour or in the heart of the city, the subway is always super crowded, and it just looks like a sardine can when it arrives. And you're like, oh man. But usually the doors open and enough people get off to where, compared to the people getting on, all it does is remain a sardine can and not become a super tight sardine can. And as I said, usually it will mean that you're standing by the door, which is good, because inside every subway by the door is a map of exactly where the subway is going and where it's gone, what the next stop is. It's all done with flashing lights, so you can look at that map and know exactly where you are at all times. You wait, you know your stop, you get off the stop, the door's open, you get out, and then the next thing you need to do, and this is crucial, is you need to know exactly what exit you need to get off on, because there can be up to 7 exits per subway stop, and there's maps on every platform. So look at the map and look at where you want to get off, because if you get off at the wrong exit, you could end up in an alley somewhere with no sense of direction of exactly where you are, or you could end up like way on the other side of where you want to be, because these subway stations are really big and sometimes they connect various lines, so you might not know where you're at when you get off. And this happened to me several times until I learned my lesson of you've got to always check what exit you want to get off on. So you know your exit, you go to the turnstile again, you swipe your card again, you can look at the amount on your card, the little doors open up, you walk out, and then you walk to the subway exit that you want, and there you are. And usually you're very close to what your destination is. Beijing Subway, it's very easy to use, it's very cheap, and it's actually many times faster than taking a taxi or even driving. So there you go, I hope that helps anyone going to Beijing. If you have any questions about it, leave me a comment.